guys, so I wanted to come on here and talk to you guys about how to get out of that dark place of depression. And so let's go ahead and get started. So I would say that it's very difficult. I've been in depression before. I've had it before, I should say. It was a specific form of depression that I had. Yes, I did diagnose myself. But this type of depression, it was completely different. It lasted much longer. And it was something that I was trying so hard to get out of. I couldn't understand the reason why. I got to the point, honestly, where I was just like, I didn't want to fight anymore with it. I just wanted to go ahead and go through it because of what I dealt with, what I did. And I felt like I needed to go ahead and really just go through it. That was the better way, I felt, for me at that time because of what I did. I felt guilty. I felt at fault with what I did and how I did things. And I felt like I really wish that I was able to go ahead and back up and rewind and do things all over again. And I wouldn't be in the place that I currently am in. However, going through that, it put me in a place where I was just like, I didn't even want to do my hair. I went without washing my hair, and I usually wash my hair, every 2 weeks. And so that was a red flag right there that I kept putting it off. I really didn't care the way that I honestly looked. I always went ahead and put on sweats. Whereas I usually like to dress up just a little bit if it's a nice top or something like that. I definitely did not want to do that. I went ahead and I was just not myself. I put on a good front, a good face for people, but it was just not who I was. And so we'll go into how you get into depression later on, but today we're going to go ahead and talk about, like, how do you get out of it. And so I wanted to bring this to you guys because it's very important to not stay stuck in the same position that you are in. Listen, depression is something that you don't want to allow come into your life, but unfortunately, a lot of times it does happen. It's very difficult to stop it for me and what I was going through because, as I said before, I'm a perfectionist. So it was very difficult once I get in that place, in that position in my mind, then I don't want to really, I don't know how to get out. And I'm learning each and every day to make sure that I don't go back to that same place, that I change the way that I think constantly about myself and about my situations, and making sure that I don't fall victim to depression. And that's really, what it's about as well, is like how you get out of it. Well, the good thing is, like, a good thing is to make sure that you don't get into it at all, that you don't fall victim to depression, because depression can get to a point where it can consume you. It can consume your entire life, your entire well-being, your health, the whole nine. It can truly change you. It's completely opposite of what you are used to, or who you used to be, or who you really are. It's complete opposite. How you get out of it, how I got out of it was through prayer. I made sure that even though I was with my situation. I was upset with God. I placed the blame on someone else because I felt like I had to place the blame on someone else in order for me to not have the entire blame, for me to feel a little bit better about my situation, about myself and what I was going through and what I placed myself through. So I placed a little bit of the blame on God, and I repented of that. I apologized for that, because that was not something that I should have done, because that was completely on me, and I'm the complete fault of that in my actions. And I'll talk about a little bit about that later. But how I was able to get out of it was through God and Him helping me. And even though I felt like I didn't want Him there with me through all of it, I felt like I needed space, He was still right there with me. He was still there helping me and feeding me little nuggets of information of His word. And even though I didn't want to listen to His word, I didn't want to hear it, I didn't want to read His word, like, I would still watch a sermon every Sunday, or listen to something here and there, listen to a song, but a Christian song, but I was hearing it, but I wasn't listening, I wasn't taking it in. So how I was able to get out of it was through Him. It was Him helping me and feeding me little nuggets like that. And let me tell you, God is the one who is going to ultimately help you out of whatever you may be going through. He is the one to help you survive all of this. He is the one to help you not just survive, but come out of it thriving and living better and feeling so much better about who you are, and get you on a path of who He has you to be. And it's so amazing, it's so miraculous, because I really did feel like I was going to be in depression this time around for a while, definitely. It started actually in December, towards the middle part of December it started, and then it continued up until I would honestly say just a few weeks ago, because it stopped around the time when we finally got the opportunity to have a Bible study. Like, I said, okay, Lord, I need to get into a Bible. Like, I was to the point, being in depression is having depression, I should say, is depressing. It's very depressing. It's something that you don't want. It's something that if you want to get out of, but a lot of times we don't put in an effort. We don't put in enough effort in order to get there, because we get to the point where we just don't want to do anything, right? And I was there. So I know I'm not going to talk to you guys about anything that I haven't already gone through or am going through, because I can't help you that way. But I did get to a point this time around where I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to I didn't really want to get up in the morning. But I knew that I had to get some things done. I had to basically put on a face and just fake it till I made it. I did not want to get back into social media. It was very difficult. It took me a very long time, really up until now, that I'm basically getting back into social media slowly but surely, because I was just so ashamed of my actions and what I did that I didn't want anyone to know about it. But God kept pushing me in this direction and wanted me to tell my story to you guys, so that you will understand and you will find it relatable to whatever you may be going through. I was able to get out of it because I not only had God in my life, but I also had His word, where He kept feeding me His word. Even though I did not want to hear it, or I didn't want to listen to it, it was still playing, right? It was still something that I saw every month, or sorry, every week. It was still something that I listened to music in the car. I would still listen to his words, his songs. I would still think about, if I did not like verbally say anything to him, I still thought about what I wanted to say to him. Basically crying out inwardly, because I didn't feel like I was there enough in order to be able to verbally talk to him. And God knows our thoughts before we know our thoughts. He listens. It doesn't matter how we speak to him. He listens. It doesn't matter if we think about it, if we talk about it verbally, if we write it down. He's always listening. He always knows what's going on. So he provided me with everything that I needed. He always provided an answer, always provided the opportunity, the way out, the help that I needed, even though I didn't verbally say it. I will also say that we are like basically 3 weeks into our Bible study, and I am so happy about that, because I was also praying. I got to the point where I was finally able to talk to God verbally, and I was praying that I wanted to go ahead and get into a Bible study. I wanted to be surrounded by other godly women who understand and would not judge me for what I'm going through in this moment. And I said, Lord, I'm ready to get into a Bible study. I'm just waiting for, or I'm ready to get into a community, a women's community, a women's group with the church. I'm ready to do that. And so he opened up this opportunity where we now have Bible study, and we're on week 3 today, Wednesday. And I love it. I love that I'm able to just talk and not be judged. And as I was talking last week, I realized that other people, other women in my group were going through the same things, but you would never know if I did not say anything. And so that's why I love that he pushed me, and he continues to push me with putting out content, putting out my story, putting out what I went through, to be able to have it be relatable to you guys and be able to help you guys in a way that I know how, because of, you never know who needs to hear what you're trying to say, or what's going on. You never know who needs to hear it, because another person, you may not be willing or ready to say anything, but because I was brave enough to step out and be able to talk to you about it, then now you're getting fed encouragement, and you're getting fed support, and you're getting fed relatability. And know that I love you guys, that I'm here for you, that I support you, that I appreciate you, that I just want to make sure that I give you guys all that you need. And, you know, as God keeps feeding me, I want to keep being there for you. As he keeps blessing me, I want to be a blessing to you. And so I hope that helps. Really, it's a one and done. Like, God is the reason why. And then he led me to be a part of my women's group, because I knew that this time around, definitely, I was not going to be able to do this myself. Depression is something that we go through by ourselves. It isolates us from being able to talk to anybody or wanting to talk to anybody about what is going on. And so a lot of times I honestly can't go to my family, because I feel like it's just not the place for me. So what I prayed about was being surrounded by women who will understand what I'm going through and not judge me for what I'm going through or what I have gone through, and that I'm able to be completely honest with them and lay it out all on the table, and that They are, and of course they relate to it. And so that's what I'm able to do in my community, in my women's group. And it's just so amazing. So what I would say is, make sure you get around people that are honestly like-minded people, that are willing to help you, that can support you, that pray about it and ask God to bring people into your life that would truly help you. Get in a Bible-based church where you can be a part of a women's group, where you can go ahead and be authentic and have that support and that non-judgment environment where you can say what's on your minds. And I feel so much better, and I have so much relief because of it. And also what I love is that I'm able to write it down. So one thing that we do have in our Bible study book is at the end, we're able to write it down with the prayers, right? And so I used to do this long time ago when I was not comfortable enough to talk to God verbally. He gave me the opportunity to go ahead and talk to him by writing it out. So every single day, I would go ahead and write out my prayers. Everything that I was going through that day, how I felt, I just left it all out on a table for him. And I gave it all to him. And so I just went ahead and start writing. And I encourage you guys to do the same thing, so that you don't bottle any of this up, because that's also a part of depression. Depression feeds on you bottling everything up and allowing it to spill over into other parts of your life, whereas you can go ahead and release it all by writing it out. And so I encourage you to go ahead and get a notebook, get a pen or pencil, and go ahead and start writing everything out. If you want to, you can go ahead and have it as a prayer and just leave it all out on the paper and sign it to God. And so that's what I did, and it really did help me, and it continues to help me, because I immediately felt like pressure was released. I felt so much better. I felt normal again. I felt like I was going back to the basics of what I used to do, which is what I needed. And it truly helped me, and I hope and pray that it helps you as well. I will also say, and I will leave you guys with this, is that what I did also like is that I was able to leave it all out to God. And that's what we really need to do. Instead of allowing things to bottle up, to fester up to the point where it seems like it's no return, or we spill it all over someone else. Instead of getting to that deep, dark place, why don't we just go ahead and give it all to him? Release it all to him. Let him, he wants to take on our burdens. He wants us to release all of that, because he cares for us and he loves us dearly. He doesn't want us to worry about any of that stuff. He doesn't want us to take all of that stuff in. He wants us to feel and be so much better and have a happier life, live a happier life, and not having to worry about any of that. So I pray that you guys go ahead and just release it and just give it all to him. Talk to him about it, release it all to him, write about it if you need to, and I guarantee that it would help you tremendously. And I hope and pray that this message today helps you as well, and I cannot wait to talk to you guys very soon.